The DJ Roundtable Show is live. It's the DJ Roundtable Show. Tell another
It is
DJ
Tuesday night.
about
It
the
is
show.
8 o'clock.
Please subscribe.
You know where the DJ's at. I know where I'm at, and I'm here with you. Yes, it is another DJ Roundtable. And as always, I have some great DJs here. And I am your host, Buddy Mueller, host of the DJ Roundtable, as you can clearly see. And I try to keep everyone here in check with all the great knowledge I have. And trust me, they have a lot of great knowledge, and they love sharing it with you guys. And because they love sharing it, it's no charge to you. It's absolutely free. So all you got to do is a few things for us. First thing first, you're watching here on Twitch Live. I will answer questions as they come along as quickly as I possibly can. And also sit there and say hi to people in the chat. I may not get your question all the time, but I try. The other part also, if you're watching this over on YouTube, because we are live on Tuesday night over on Twitch, then we're on YouTube on Monday. I try to release at noon Central Time. I want to ask you to do me a couple things. First thing first, I need you to help me slay that beast, that mean beast, as we all know and love, the YouTube algorithm. So help me slay that beast and make sure that if you're one of the 74.3% of people watching this who are not subscribed to the channel, what's stopping you? The other thing also, hit that bell. Make sure you got the thumbs up, like the video, and give comments down below. We love hearing comments. That helps out. The other thing, if you're over on Facebook, you can join one of our fun chats, fun groups. We do have groups available. I'm going to have some links down below to other channels, and we'll go through that in a second or two. But there is a chat for the show over on Facebook. If you look for the DJ Helpers, the DJ Roundtable Helpers, and that the DJ Roundtable Helpers is there to chat and talk about stuff and help you beyond the show. But not only that, we have a alliance and we have kind of a network with 3 other DJs. One of them is Hunter. He has his show on Monday nights. We also have Dwayne with his show on Thursday nights. And then you have Sean, who has his show Wednesday. And as well as everyone else here has a YouTube channel. I just lost Salsis. That's great. Thanks, Matt. Matt ran away. I guess he got taken off by the aliens. He got taken off by the aliens. That's what happened.
Yeah, Aurora Borealis there.
There he is. He's in the forest back there. How you doing, sir?
I'll be back in a second.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be back in a second.
there we go. That's always a fun part. And again, this is live, not Memorex. This is not scripted. This is everyone here. So you have time to spin. You have the DJ Biz School, and you have Cue It Up. So make sure you look at those channels. Make sure you look what's happening. Well, I just lost the internet for a second there. So, okay. Interesting. This is why you should have MP3s. I see a lot of people this past week complaining about losing their connection to certain online services for music and not having music. This is why having MP3s is important.
Wait, before we get started, I wanted to show everybody something.
Ooh.
Aha.
Wow.
With my name on it.
Wow. Oh, there you
There we
go.
go.
Oh, wow. There you go.
That's a
QSC.
nice
For
bottle.
my review video, they found it on YouTube and he really liked
nice.
it. And they sent me that in a t-shirt.
There you go. So
How
if
about
you
that?
are watching, make sure you refresh your page, because the fact that Twitch decided to do something crazy. So again, I appreciate if you're watching here, give a shout out in the chat. We want to hear from you guys. One of the things, as Matt was there with his QSC bottle. Thank you, QSC, for giving him a bottle. Greatly appreciate it. And we talked about the we talked about their line array earlier, and I want to get a quick update from Matt. Have you had a chance to use it at a gig?
Yes, I've used it twice. So there was one in the review video, and then I had a small little corporate lunch type thing with background music and some microphones. And we had some surprise rainstorms, so that was fun. They are pretty. I mean, as soon as the rain started, I covered everything and got them under the tent, and they're fine. So maybe there's a little bit of IP rating, but yeah, they still sound great. I'm gonna use them again for like a party on Saturday. I've got two other big weddings this weekend that are using. Well, one of them's using the Dual 21s. The other one's to be determined. I haven't figured out what I want to do for that setup yet, but it's too big for the QSC system. But yeah, I mean they sound great. You're not gonna get like a full-on club level sound like you would from some 18s, but they do. I think yeah, they're definitely loud. They sound great. They're well balanced. I mean, they're pretty. I get compliments on them. People are like, "Oh, those are such nice speakers." So there you go.
And that's the thing is that, having the curb appeal for your setup is an important thing. And I know some people, we talked about this, last episode about price of DJs. And, people may not know the equipment. They may not be able to understand the equipment. And that's very true. Customers won't. But they can understand when stuff looks nice, neat, and looks very technical and clean. And that's why, having, Ray style systems has advantages over a regular two-way top and bottom. But having overall a good, clean look, good, clean lines, cables nice, neat, it does separate you from other DJs. And that's the big thing is that when you see other DJs, it's not a hard thing. A lot of companies out there selling, Velcro and stuff like that for cable ties. I definitely would say recommend to get them. And if you don't have it, it's not expensive. You can get some stuff on Amazon. And then also one of the guys, one of the DJs on Facebook, he actually has a 3D printing service. He's making parts. And I actually was talking today, and I'm going to try and see get him on the show next week or so. He is, I purchased, before I even approached him for the show, I purchased white cable ties for my white J8s because I have the ones from RCF, and these are other ones just like the Gravity ones that clip on and it actually has a little runner in the back to run cables, but they're in white, which I was looking for. Gravity does not make them, but he's actually 3D printing them and selling them for basically same price as Gravity. So I will have them soon. And when I get them, I have a little unboxing video, but I will report to you guys how good they are. And
Why would
I'm
we do the
hoping to have him on
unboxing
here.
here on this show?
I'd
love to see that.
Open the box up here. It's a little small little screen versus full screen.
Absolutely. Come on.
Better things to do on this show than watch someone open a box.
Yeah, that's right. There's a lot editing going on when you do unboxing. It's not like, oh well, hey, look, it's a lot of like, okay, pause, don't do this, don't do that.
But
a lot of things.
Gravity clips, they are great, and you're getting white ones.
Well, not from Gravity. Again, they were from one of the other DJs on there. It makes
here's
a similar product.
Here's a much cheaper trick. Get clear zip ties. That's what I use.
There's another one, clear zip ties.
That's what I use for my white setups because they don't make white. I haven't found white zip ties yet, so the clear.
They do make those.
I'm sure they do.
White zip ties, and they do make white Velcro. I have white Velcro.
Yep.
I have white zip ties. Tracy has clear ones for her little office over there.
The problem with those clips is they don't provide tension, and like you would get with a bungee cord or a zip tie or even Velcro.
Right.
That's the problem. So if you have a bunch of cables, 2 or 3 thicker cables, those Gravity things are not going to do anything.
I pretty much use Velcro ties to tie down my cables onto my speaker stands.
I use Velcro myself, and
I use a little bit of a combination of both, but the Gravity style ones, I don't use like 2 of them, one at the top, one at the bottom. I use multiple down it, so I'll probably use on a side 4 on one side, 4 on the other side. So there's a top, a 2 in the middle, and then 1 toward the bottom.
Well,
that way it gives more uniformity. You know, it's not pulling on it. It still keeps them clean.
Yeah, I don't think the Gravity clips are meant to really hold them down steady, like a permanent, almost like a permanent fixture. It's just to keep them nicely in line, angled down. If you're going to use them to retain something hard and make sure it stays there permanently, almost that's really not what they're for. I'd say, it's just to
You
make it
use
look
use a
nice
little
for the
Velcro.
time. And if you need to pull them off quick, you pull it off quick. Where Velcro, you got some strength to pull that thing off.
Velcro is your friend. Velcro is your friend. So with that said, and we're talking all this other fun stuff, I want to talk about the subject tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about getting into uplighting. This is something that a lot of us offer, a lot of us do, and we understand it and give it a unique look to the room. One of the things I like to do is reflect a bounce light off the wall and have the room shine light into the dance floor. And then when the dance floor opens, it's flashing with the rhythm of the music, and you could DMX that very easily, the uplights, and have that going with the music with a lot of programs. And with the technology today, with wireless and battery operated uplights, doesn't matter if it's an inexpensive unit or a very expensive unit, you can do a lot with them. And having that look and having that feel to a room, I feel that it separates a lot of different DJs. Some DJs want to put a bunch of pars in front and light the dance floor versus put the light behind them and have the light wash across the back wall, wash across the ceiling onto the dance floor, making it a more pleasant feel and give it this nice backdrop look and fill the room up with this beautiful light, as well as like a head table and some other areas to do. Or if you're doing full room lighting, you do architectural lighting. You're lighting certain features to attract the eye. Now, then I see people who do lighting and they just put a light every 2 or 3 feet and say, there you go. That's it. I feel that sometimes it can work. Sometimes I feel maybe too much light because it's a balancing act. You don't want, especially they pick something like purple or something like that. You don't want everything purple. When someone gets their dinner, their salad is not purple, their steak is not purple, or their fish is not purple, the dress is not purple. You want to have as an accent color more than a direct color. So there's more what the color is. It could be green. It could be what Matt hates. What I do is blue. I got a lot of blue buttons.
God, I hate blue.
If you do off colors like a light pink or a light beige or like that, you want to have that attraction to it. You want that feel to the light, and you want people to be able to look at it and say, I feel very pleasing, and it's a nice color that adds to stuff. I had a wedding last year at a venue. The bride wanted winter. She didn't want Christmas. She wanted winter. So the dance floor and one half of the fireplace, which in the middle of the room, was blue. The other side of the fireplace on was amber for fall. So we went to the front part of the fireplace, hit amber, and some amber lights around. Then we went onto the other side where the dance floor is at and where the cake cutting was at and where the bar is at. That was blue because that's winter. So it gave a different feel to the different parts of the room. And, that's one of the things when you try and tell a story, when people have a thought, I want to have this kind of theme for a wedding, you can do stuff like that and separate, even in a big room, you can separate one half of a room doing one part, another half of a room doing another part. And another thing I'm going to leave you eyes on, I had a wedding last year as well. The groom donated his kidney because his dad needed a kidney and he wasn't a match for his dad. So he donated his kidney to another young lady. When he was talking, he actually asked the National Kidney Foundation is green color. Can you change the lights to green? So when he was talking, when he got to the part in the speech, I changed the colors over to green. So he had green light to showcase what was going on for a kidney donation. And he had the young lady there he donated a kidney to. And that to me is a very, very important thing to have that feel and look, and that people can say, wow, that's really cool. Because it was changed, and then we changed it back to a blue color, which Matt loves. So I'm going to go to Matt because Matt does do a uplighting. Matt, what are some of your tips and tricks uplighting, and when you do uplighting, is there anything that you look for or ask your clients to try and make it different than just putting a light every 2 feet?
When I do uplighting,
Yes, when you do uplighting.
uh, eh, I mean, all of our uplighting is DMX and goes to the music later, so we leave it on like a static color. I like neutrals. I don't think you should ever do blue or purple. Uh, yeah, those are the two, or green even. But like doing some color mixing, I do like a candlelight, warm white type of look. And then if they have like a lot of colorful flowers on some of the outdoor venues where like I can only uplight a certain area, I've done like 4 or 5 different colors on the uplights to kind of match the flower arrangements on the tables. So I think that looks pretty cool. I don't know. Other than that, I mean, uplights are uplights. I think you should, the people that try to sell like, oh, it's $500 for 12 of them, and like I don't think people realize like 12 is not going to really do much. 8 is not going to do anything. I bring most of the time at least 18, and then we have up to 30, but uh, and I just include them in my package. I don't charge per or whatever. So that's just me. But yeah, I think
When
DMXing also is cool, and being it all of mine are independently DMX'd, so I can make each one do something different instead of just all of them or none of them.
when you do uplighting and you do a room, you never tell people how many lights you need. It's how many lights the job needs, correct? You never say,
Yeah,
well, you get
I
20
never,
uplights with
yeah.
this.
Unless they ask how many are included. But even when that happens, like I've, brought whatever I've brought. Not like anybody's out there counting. Uh, so, uh, yeah, I don't. I just say we bring as many as we need for the venue.
I think a lot of times people have a number in their mind because
Uh-huh.
a lot of DJs say, hey, I charge you, $300 or $500 or $1,000, whatever the charge is for 20 uplights, or I include 20 uplights. Does the room need 20 uplights? I've done rooms, again, depending on what you're doing. I've done head table with 3 uplights. I've done head tables with 5 uplights. I've done, behind me, depending on what I'm trying to do, with 3 or 4 uplights. What am I trying to cover? What spots am I trying to highlight? Am I highlighting entrances? Am I highlighting doorways? Am I highlighting archwork? Am I highlighting, any kind of ceiling or anything like that? And that's the thing, is that I always look at what the room is about. How can I make the room pop? How can I make the room have a wash and feel to it? And that's why I feel a lot of DJs have this trap they fall into, is that this room needs all these lights, and I need to put all the lights in the room, and I'm going to make it so bright. But that could actually take away from the work you're trying to do. And that's why, like Brian S. Red says it, I say it, architectural uplighting means that you're going to highlight things inside the room and not just put lights to put lights. So I'm gonna go over to Jeff, because Jeff, I know he does some stuff too. Jeff, when you do uplighting, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, when you do that, what is like your secrets? Is there anything you ask your clients? Is there stuff you're trying to go for, or trying a look you're trying to do, or what is your secret to uplighting?
Well, for me, I don't charge for uplighting. That's just included in my packages, kind of like Solstice. Um, I have 26 available uplights that I can take. 16 of them are the very small, 8 are IR4 hex bars, and 8 are the freedom bars. And they're the small little tiny little lights. They're not terribly bright, but they'll light up a wall. So I usually bring those 16 just free of charge. That's just, within my lighting package. If they're doing a nighttime, which most are, event, then they're doing a lighting package. And the only 2 things that separates my lighting packages are the basic is just, uplighting. And then if they want to splurge for more of a disco feel, I'll throw some moving heads and some wash effects for the upper level package. But the thing is that it's so easy to set these up. They're already DMX. You just got to drop them, turn them on and drop them around the venue. And, that is so secondary to everything else to me. I mean, it's almost second nature. It's I don't feel right about charging for that. There are no secrets other than, every venue is different. So you just got to look at the venue and figure out what you want to highlight and where you want to highlight. For me, I have 4 different areas of lighting. The main lighting is the DJ booth and the totems, if I'm bringing totems. And I will, depending on the venue, if it's a big venue and I need all 16 of my IR4 hex bars around the room and behind me, then I'll use my 6x18 watt Chinese hex bars that I don't take very often, but they are brighter. But I'll put those under my booth in the column or in the moving head totems. And if I'm taking my column arrays, I'll put them right in front of the column arrays, so they will light the front of those up. So the main thing that's number 1 is the DJ booth. Second thing is behind the DJ booth, the wall where I'm set up, or the corner. That is going to usually take at least 4, usually 8, sometimes 16, uplights, depending on the venue. So that varies, but that's a necessary lighting function. And then third, if they want to spend the money for it, I will bring moving heads and put them on glow totems, which have the uplights under them. And fourth is wash effects. And the wash effects I only bring if I'm bringing my big tops, so I mount them on top of those. If I'm bringing my column arrays, I do not bring wash effects. I am close to figuring out a way to Velcro a wash effect to the top of my column array, and I may experiment with that at my next event next Saturday. So we'll see. I'm not too certain on that. I don't want it to fall off and break, but if the Velcro holds, I may give it a shot. So I may try that. We'll see. So, but yeah, it's just every venue is different. But the main thing you want to do is, for me, light the venue, light the DJ booth and the surrounding, speakers and that type of thing, and then the wall behind me. And then if the venue needs it, I will put them around the venue on the walls or the columns. So the thing about putting them on columns, you got to choose which side to put them on. Do you want to put them all on the dance floor side so the people on the dance floor see them, or on the opposite so the people surrounding see them? So, and if you have enough, then you can put them on both sides. But yeah, those are the secrets, which aren't really secrets. It's just kind of standard issue type stuff. You drop them where they look the best.
And that's a couple of things you touched on there. The lighting with totems and having that as an option is really, really a cool thing, gives a cool effect. I've done that when we have totems. You have the totems uplit, your color, whatever color you're going with, amber, blue, whatever the color is.
Not blue.
Yes, blue.
Never blue.
Yes, blue.
Nobody's ever gonna ask for blue.
Sometimes blue. When I play a slow song, I will put blue on.
Okay, I'll put red out for slow songs for romance, but
slow dance blue.
You guys need to figure your stuff out.
We gotta make Matt happy here, but having those totems are really great. Having those totems really great. They light up. They add, again, depending on what package people pick with me, they add some ambiance, add some flair, some color, and again, you put some moving heads on top of there. You have another platform to have a nice look to it. Tyler Wallens, he is the one doing the 3D printing stuff, and
of course he is.
He is the one who I ordered the clips from. I know he's made cover tops for Evolve 50s to mount lights on. I would say reach out to him, see if they can do it for your LDs. And it's pretty cool what he's been doing with 3D printer and the stuff he's making, because it's stuff that a lot of DJs ask for, a lot of companies are not making, which I don't understand why not. But he's filling that niche right now, and he may be able to make something for the top of your 28s and sit on top there and hold your light so that way it doesn't fall off and it's secured to the top of the light. I mean, top of the speaker. And that would be a really cool thing. I see a lot of people in here. TJ Crossfire, I see you. Welcome, sir. He said he always uses Velcro ties. Yeah, he started using tube lights lately. Quite a few like the eye candy there. And Adrian E is here. What's up, sir? Glad to see you. And let's see here. We got a few other people in here. And welcome, welcome, welcome. Joe, welcome, sir.
How you doing?
Glad to see what you have going on there. Glad to see you here. Glad to see you talking, and glad to see you also in the chat too. We're talking about uplighting here, and we're trying to get some tips and tricks and trying to have people do stuff. And I know you have uplighting. I'm gonna get to you in a second or so. But I'm definitely going to get you because I know I always see some great quinceaneras and stuff like that you have out there in California. You and Matt both out there in Cali doing those big lighting events. But I'm going to go to Hunter over there in beautiful South Carolina. We heard from North Carolina. Now we can hear from South Carolina.
Yeah.
Hunter, do you do uplighting? And if so, do you ask people or talk to people about it? Or do you just forego it? Or what do you do for lighting?
Well, for lighting, I don't use uplighting, and I'm going to show you a picture of my setup and show you what I really do. So I basically use I don't really do up lights. I do wash lights. My Chave Wash FX2s light the entire dance floor. And that's all
just to let you know, I can't let you do that. Share the picture because then it basically gives everyone a blank screen when I record it. So it takes away from the recording. So it screw up the recording.
But yeah,
so
I have so for lighting, I have 2 Chave Wash FX2s, and that's it. I had 8 Rock Part 50s. Then I upgraded the Chaves. I just don't really use up lights. I mainly use stage lights to light the entire dance floor.
Okay. Do you ever do like lighting behind your booth or anything like that on the wall, or use the parts,
No.
put them down on the ground, and wash
No,
up
I'm
behind you?
Nope, I don't. I'm not that lucky. I don't have that kind of money to spend on up lights.
I know you got some pars. You can take some of those pars off the T-bar, put them behind you, wash the wall and the ceiling, and wash it in front.
But they're not battery powered. They're
No,
wall
you plug in the
powered.
wall. I got
Yeah.
plug-in,
I mean, I could borrow them from my garage setup and use them as uplights.
ADJ plug-in par. I still have these, and they have no battery. They just plug in. They're a billion years old. Got a little dust on them, but they're here. Dusty but trusty.
I mean, I could do that and
All
put them
right.
in my Rockville bag and carry them with me. I guess I could do
And
that.
again, you just do a couple. That's all. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I could
go
probably
to.
I could actually probably do that when I DJ the Mother and Son dance at Bridgewater and put some around in the gym.
You could very easily. You just find a couple outlets, and you can walk up to them. You got remote control. Just put it.
Yeah,
You at least put them on sound active if you want to. If you want to
they
get
don't
into DMX and stuff like that, I know
Yeah,
a
they don't
DJ who knows DMX really well. His name is Matt.
They don't have a remote. It
Okay.
all works by either DMX or the actual buttons on the back of the lights.
Then just put them in the light. Just leave them the same color all night. Just give ambiance, give beautiful look.
Okay.
So I'm going to go over to Dwayne in Ohio. His my Midwest brother. That he does some crazy stuff in there in Ohio. If you want to tell me how you do some uplighting and some tips and tricks and some things you ask customers when you talk to them about it.
Mainly my uplighting, I don't try to uplight the whole room. Like I see some pictures where they have uplighting where they make the room all like one color. If I want to try to wash like a large part of a room, I just use my Hexafix for that. But my uplighting would be more so for highlighting different things inside the room. So that's basically it. But I do like I have the slim quad. I think that's what it's called. It's the Survey. It has the 3 beams. I like to put that behind like the head table. And if I do a light for my booth, if I have a white scrim, I usually have the color strip, the Survey color strips. So those are the basic ones. But a lot of my uplights are still like the old ones that require you to plug it in. So I have a handful of battery operated ones, but they're not as bright as my ones that I have to plug in. So that it depends on where the outlets is, and then two, whether or not I can use those plug-in ones, because I don't want to plug it in and then have a bunch of wires showing. I like the clean look. So it's you can ready to say something, so
Yeah. As well, wait. But, do you charge for uplighting, and what do you usually talk to your customer about? Do you sell it to customers? And this is one of the things that I do. And I know Matt said he gives it. Jeff said he gives it. Hunter doesn't really do it. But for you, do you sell uplighting? Because I know I do. And when I talk to customers, because that to me is an enhancement,
Mhm.
and I could show them. And it depends on what venue. I could show them a lot of venues what we've done with lighting and how we can do things, and some beautiful lighting in a room, and people are like, wow. And that to me, like Joe has a great picture of his background picture there, some uplighting. That's impactful things you show people. And what I did was I did a few of them first for free, and to get those pictures and get that eye candy and get the ball rolling. And since then, I do charge fees for that, and it's not a huge fee, but even 3 or 4 or 500 or $600 to do some lighting, it adds impact to things, and people are like walked away like, wow, it really is some eye candy. It really gives a great look.
Yeah, I do both. I have the a la carte price, and then I have that built into my medium package and higher end package. But a lot of my clients, they like the pictures that they saw. They like the glow tubes. And for the dance floor, I have the lights that snaps on. I put magnets on it so that snaps onto my column array. So they like little stuff like that that I can put around the room, not to light the room a certain color, but to add, like, I guess you could say eye candy, like little flashes throughout the room.
And
So that's why I do.
Joe just changed his picture again for more eye candy.
Yeah, I have those. That's the quads. They look like that.
And they give it a very unique look for lighting. That gives you, again, that catches your eye, that people can see it and say, yeah, those are a great thing to have. And then the new Picard Kevin, he says it's like having um chest enhancements. I'm gonna say that because again, we're gonna keep things G rated here. I don't want the YouTube gods get mad at me later on, so we're going to say chest enhancements for young ladies. Yes, it is very true that it is kind of like that. You can equate that if you want to. But having those enhancements and stuff like that, I feel it helps, make their event and their wedding separate from someone else's wedding. And that's one of the things that I like to, when I talk to my clients, is how do I separate their wedding from someone else's wedding? Some people just want really basic, real simple. That's not a problem. And then others want to have uniqueness to it. And those are the unique weddings. When I talk to them, it's like, okay, this is how we can make your wedding unique. This is what we can add to it. Showing them, monograms, showing them the things that you can do to enhance things. Uplighting a cake table. Sounds kind of funny, but you have a cake table, and again, here in the Midwest, cake is cut before dinner. Cake is cut when the grand entrance happens, because the cake is usually in a dance floor. We do our first dance after dinner. So when we do that, the cake is out there on the floor. That's one of the things I offer is cake table uplighting. And I've done that and have a different color than the rest of the colors, because again, it's calling your eye of attention to something. And really, it gives a nice pop, especially as a white tablecloth and a white trim around it, and you're lighting that, it gives a very, very cool look. Headlights and uplights, the same thing, I wonder. That's what Kevin says. Oh, God, Kevin. We love Kevin. Let's see, I found cupcakes never cut up. Okay, well, again, I guess, cupcakes, great. You found some. Hey, delicious cupcakes. There you go. I'm going to go over to Sean in Georgia, who is originally from Wisconsin. So he knows Midwest weddings, that how we do things different here. And we when you come into the dance room, when you come into the room from the grand entrance, you go right to cake cutting. It's grand entrance, couple comes in, and they go right to cake cutting. From cake cutting, right to the head table for speeches, and then you're having dinner. So, uh, Sean, what are some of the things you do when you talk to clients about uplighting? How do you distinguish what they need, what they want? How do you sell it to them? And what makes you different from other DJs who do uplighting in your area?
Yeah, so we did build a basic amount of uplights into our package, 12. That's more so to cover, and we explain that to clients during our consultation. That's to cover DJ booth, totems, and to really just kind of accent the dance floor a little. We do wireless DMX all of our uplights. So we start out with that base amount, and then we'll sell them a whole room package or an enhancement package, depending what we think would work best for their venue. Some of my favorite ones, I love doing like head table uplighting, kind of like you said with the cake, but the head table itself, uplight the nice white cloth on the table, looks super sharp. Obviously, uplighting behind them. Um, if I'm doing like a sweetheart table, I'll do 3 fixtures, and I'll have the center fixture a little bit brighter than the 2 outside fixtures, because that brighter fixture in the center is going to naturally draw people's focus to the center of the sweetheart table where the bride and groom are. Um, as far as all of ours being DMX'd, so we do wireless DMX, we do independent channels like Matt does. And my tip for everybody is to label each light. Each of our lights are numbered. I think we're up to 48 now for up lights. So each of ours are numbered 1 through 48. They're already assigned a channel in our DMX software. We use Sound Switch. And so that way, when we're setting a room up, we can just grab, all right, this is number 1 here, 2 here, because we go and we do like a lot of chase designs, different effects like that once it gets into dancing. So we want them all in the right positions. For non-dancing, for during like cocktail dinner time, I'm with Matt. I stick to a really neutral color. Obviously, we've done like some pinks, some purples on the bride's requests, but I love just kind of like Joe has there right now, a nice warm light during cocktail and dinner time is my favorite. So, and then we do pin spotting, which is a great one. Pin spot like the cake table, centerpieces, stuff like that, and obviously like monograms and stuff. So, and we do offer uplighting separate of our DJ service as well.
When you when you look to talk to a client, and again, you said you show them this is what's included, but you can have this for your room. You charge again additional fee for that. When you do that, is there a secret or trip that or a picture that you go to show them
Yes.
what the room looked like before and what the room looks like with full relighting?
So essentially, when our clients schedule a consultation with us, one of the questions is, where's the wedding taking place? So as soon as I get that information, I'm going and I'm scouting out the venue online, going up to Google, pulling up photos, seeing what past DJs have done there, trying to find a nice, just open floor plan of the venue. And then I'll kind of go in and I'll actually use like a essentially like paint software, but with a highlighter and kind of demonstrate like the areas that I want to uplight and show them like the effect that I want to apply to it. And then we quote them based off of what we think that room's going to need. Never a specific number. We just sell it as either an accent package or a full room package. So like something like Joe's got there, I'd consider that like a full room. If we're just doing like cake table, head table, and accenting certain like features, then it'd be like an accent package for them.
And that's the important thing is understanding, when you get into lighting, especially up lighting, is explaining now to your customer what is available, but how that enhancement can help them just change the look of their event totally.
Oh, yeah.
And this could work for corporate. It could work for sport teams. It could work for birthday parties. It could work for quinceañeras. It can work for almost anything you're looking at that you can add an enhancement to it, especially like a corporate event. You have a corporate, you can have a neutral color, and then when the CEO or the president or someone bigger person comes up to speak, you can change the color, especially in wireless DMX, to a corporate color, to the company's color. or have it change color or flash lights or whatever, and have that like paparazzi feel when they walk up to the podium. And that right there would be a great thing to have. Um, Kevin asks, would the uplights work for an adult club? Yes, it would
Oh
work for an
yeah.
adult
Oh
club.
yeah.
Yes. Candy and Porsche and Mercedes and Storm and whatever name else you want to say up there, they will enjoy the lighting, you know. But oh man, Mike, what's
I
going
think
on? Sorry to hear that your back is hurting you. Hopefully you'll feel better, and we'll see you on Thursday night on Cue It Up with Dwayne there, your co-pilot, and the two of you guys will be taking off for the sunny skies of DJ heaven, you know, and having all the fun stuff.
Oh, hey,
But
Mike.
yep, Mike. Of course, Hunter says hi to you. But yeah, it's an important thing to have a very good looking, a very, very good looking feel to things. And that's uh, I feel that if you do stuff and you look at stuff, it should be a eye candy kind of thing. I've been saying that all night tonight. And that is because of the fact that when you have something that people see it and like I just changed my background too. And this look Matt, it's not blue. Like when I have a venue like I just show right now, my background there with the amber, it has a very very positive look there of the amber look, and it's something that when I show that picture there, and that picture is a couple years old, but that venue I've been to plenty of times, but that look right there, that just attracts people to that area, and they're like, wow, the green, the amber, and everything else you did gives a very nice look, and that's the important thing. I'm going to go to Joe. Joe,
I just changed my background.
there you
So
go.
we, that's so weird.
Joe,
You guys have head tables still. We haven't had head tables in probably about a year. It's not the thing to do anymore. You have a sweetheart table and everyone is seated at other tables. Head tables are very out of fashion.
head tables are still here. King's
At least
tables
out
are
here.
very popular. We get a lot of king table. So
Yeah, we
they
don't
have
have
the,
Are
any.
you talking?
who here has done a king's table?
What is a king's table?
King's table is a
bride and
table in the
groom
middle of
sit
the
at
room.
the head, and then everybody else down the sides.
Yep. Or
Oh.
the bride
Huh.
one side, groom on the other side, like true king and queen of the ball, and their
That's
subjects are on each side, as it's called.
That's weird.
So that it goes back to the kings of old.
I get it.
It's a
I get
king's
it.
table.
dais.
Very, very
Dais.
popular. Yeah,
It
multi-tier
goes in
head
the middle
tables.
and all
Yep.
there.
I get that a lot. Get those big weddings and those big parties. Multi-tiered
We have
head tables.
we have an outdoor event this year, and the entire wedding is at one table. So it's outdoors, and it like snakes through the woods, just one big giant long table.
That's interesting.
Can I
Yeah.
can I chime in? Chime in?
Yeah, go ahead.
I know. I know.
Go ahead,
Buddy,
Joe.
kind of-
That's what I'm going to next. Joe,
Everybody
Tell me about you.
Okay. So you guys got a lot of good points to make. I mean, I've taken a couple of architectural lighting myself, and when I sell up lighting, I basically have, as you can see, some of my pictures in the background, different colors, different designs. I use diffused filters. I don't know if you guys know what they are. So basically, you have your uplight, and you can buy like a 10 by 60 diffuser. And the reason I use those is because when I use the 60, it helps you wash the walls. So you take up less lighting. You don't have to take as much because now you're not creating that column look. So if I want to light up a column, I turn it to the 10 degree and boom, it lights up the column all the way. So that's the type of lighting that I use. I use a lot of diffuse filters. I use a lot of the Chevet, the three quad beam. And also America DJ came out with theirs. And one thing that I also use is I use the COB beams. And I like to light up the ceiling. And for that, I'll show you a picture, this one. So you can kind of see this one where I went ahead and uplit the columns, but I'm also uplighting the ceiling. A lot of times people walk into a room and they go, oh my God, it looks so beautiful. But then you look at the ceiling and it goes like, oh, especially when you have chandeliers, it makes a big, big difference. So whenever I sell uplighting to my clients, I don't tell them I'm going to provide 4, 6, 20, whatever. I usually tell them, ask them what room it's going to be in. If I know, oh yeah, I've been there before. I can set up the architectural lighting. I'll light up the walls. I'll light up the sweetheart table. I can pin spot the cake. And also, if you like, I can offset and put a couple lights on the sides for the bride and groom so they're not sitting in the dark. A lot of times, we forget about the bride and groom. You can kind of see one of the pictures, I think over here. Can you see where I have a pin spot, or not a pin spot, but what do you call it? A moving head? Light up the sweetheart
Yes.
table. So I'm lighting up the sweetheart table there, or I'll move it to the cake or wherever else, or I'll do architectural lighting. Because what I did with my movers, I replaced all the club type gobles with branches, stars, floral designs. The other one is I got the other one. There's like 6 of them that you can basically replace. If you have the gobo type of moving heads, you can replace those and put different architectural lighting. So it's important that you show your client all the different designs that you have, all the colors. And normally what I do is I tell them, well, in the beginning, what I'll do, grand entrance, I'll make everything white. So the photographer's taking pictures. They're not, sometimes they'll ask for green or blue. And I thought, well, you're better off with a blush or gold or white or off color, maybe a teal and or lavender. But stay away from those dark colors, because when people are taking pictures, you don't want to look like a Martian when you're green. You
Like
don't
blue.
Yeah, you don't want to look like what do you call that guy? Blue, the little guy.
Alien.
Oh, Stitch. Yeah, Stitch.
Oh,
But anyway,
Stitch.
it's important that you let your clients know
Murph.
and give them ideas of what you could provide, because what you do is you're scaling your sales. And usually when I sell my bride and groom or quinceañeras or client or corporate, I tell them the primary things that you want to book is a DJ, MC, of course, and then the uplighting. If you want a gobo or logo, then move to that. If you want us to do more architectural lighting, then I can take the movers and I can basically put them on the ceiling or the walls and create that architectural lighting on the walls. And then if you want, the other thing would be the low-lying fog, of course, the cold sparklers. And then I do a lot of, because I'm a video DJ, I do a lot of screens. So those are basically, but I'm getting off subject here. Let's stay with the lighting. But it's very important that you tell your clients and you show them examples of what you can do. If they ask you, well, what type of monogram can you give us? Oh, perfect question. I can go ahead and give you a hard design. I don't know if you see it. And I can give you, light up your room in like a blush color. And this, I sold it for, what I thought, $480, just for the gobo and some, I think I had 8 up lights here, because the room wasn't all that big. But I don't believe in taking, like, say, telling a client I can provide up to 24, 48 up lights. It basically depends on the room. And you have to see that as more like you're creating a painting for them, right? Because they're going to take pictures. They're going to look, oh my God, our room looks so beautiful. And if you could take pictures of a venue with no lighting versus lighting, you kind of give them an idea of what it would look like.
And that's the thing, is that having that balance between room lighting and uplighting is very important. And
Yeah.
Joe, you do it. I know Sean's done it. Matt's done it. Jeff's done it. Hunter's done it a little bit as far as with his dance lighting, making sure the dance lighting's not over bright on the dance floor. No, you can you do your dance lighting. You don't do uplighting. You do your dance lighting. You make sure it's not
Yeah,
overly
yeah,
bright.
fine, yeah.
Dwayne's done it. Chris worked with uplighting a bunch of times. I'm pretty sure he's done it too. And that's that balance. Even like the picture I have behind me, which is the Black Hawk Hotel in Davenport, Iowa, which was a purple color. That's what the couple wanted. It's a lighter purple, not a really dark purple, but it adds color to the room, not overpowering the room. So I'm working with the lighting in the room, but adding that ambiance and that flavor and that color to the room. So not everything is that color. So the steaks are not purple. The salad's not purple. The dress is not purple. The people are not purple. That's the thing you don't want. You want to add color to stuff, but you don't want it to overpower what's happening in the room. You don't want to make it that it's too powerful what's going on. And that's one of the things I think that a lot of DJs don't understand. They have a number in their head. They bring 30 lights, I got to use all 30 lights, or I bring 20 lights, I got to use all 20 lights. Less is more with lighting. Having that right balance is very important. And I feel that you have it as well, Joe, and the stuff that you do is having that balanced look of things. Chris, I know you've done a lot with lighting and you do a lot with, especially your phone parties, but I know you've helped other DJs with lighting and DMX and so forth and so on. What do you do with lighting? What do you have uplighting? Do you do uplighting? Do you help with
I personally
uplighting?
don't own uplights, but working with uplights, one of your other pictures gives a huge prime example. If you could go back to the other one with the green, you have the yellow uplights going on. It looked like your uplights, the way you use them with the columns between each of the windows, had shown you're actually having Joe has a good with that. All right, I like Joe's picture there. So he's actually integrating shadows where most of his brightest lights are against the wall and the ceiling, and as you go towards the center, it fades. So adding a fade texture that adds a great accent that everyone forgets about fading. Now there's Buddy's example with his columns. Those literally those sconces on the wall and the valances, it looks like you have an architectural column now instead of just a wall piece between windows. It actually makes architectural accents there, and he's using more shadowing to accent all that where it's blocking the light. So adding shadows and stuff can be a very powerful thing in uplighting. And you can see on the outskirts, it looks like you're using the sconces more to add shadow effect to make it look like that column is even completely different texture than the middle two. And if you can see in the very top row, it looks gorgeous. I mean, it's such a beautiful shot too. I mean, that uplighting and the sconces lights themselves, those little bulbs just add a little bit brightness to it where your uplights go all through the whole column.
And
So
again,
with
those impactful pictures like that, Chris, I feel that if you have them as a DJ, you have pictures like what Joe has, like Matt has, like Dwayne has, like Sean has, like Jeff has, like I have. You have those pictures when you're talking to your customer and you can explain to them what you can do and what separates you as a DJ from DJ ABC or XYZ. That helps out tremendously. And that's what's going to separate you from a lot of people because you can show yourself now an expert in sound by showing a nice, good sounding system that's not going to overburden the people, but also a good looking setup, a good looking head table, sweetheart table, or a room. And I feel that is a big, huge selling point right there.
Exactly.
And you know, it's one of the things that everyone here, and again, it doesn't matter if it's part of a package or if it's an option or an enhancement. It is something that we should be talking to our clients because if they're looking at a more basic package and you're offered into a higher package, this should be a thing to talk to them about to have them go to the higher package is pictures like this.
And you can see I put my stage lights under my speakers. And with that being so far away, it's not going to blind, the clients, which are the students. Because I mainly do school dances.
So has anyone talked about this? Obviously, the new things, the 360 tubes, or all those tube lights that everyone seems to be buying now. Has anyone integrated any of that stuff? That seems to be a new hot topic in lighting. Last year at the DJ Expo, I won from JMAS Galaxy tubes, and haven't quite integrated in yet. And what I'm going to do, that Joe's using them there, I see that.
You should just throw them out.
Oh,
I think they're garbage. Throw them out. They're garbage.
I do find they're definitely
looking.
not expensive. They're $100 a tube, but I mean, comparing them to like the Astera tubes, which are, $1,000 a piece or more. I mean, they get to be pretty pricey, but you could do some pretty cool effects, and accents with those 360 tubes.
Asteras are not $1,000 each. They are expensive. I have Asteras.
Yeah.
500 each.
Yeah, it depends which one you go to. If you go to the Pixel, they're a little cheaper than the Titan tubes. The Titan tubes
Right.
are a little bit brighter, but it's like anything else. What do you want for a look or for lighting? And it's just like this right here. You can kind of see if I move out of the way a little bit. You can see the tube. You can see the uplight behind the tube. The thing like Astera's 180-degree light, not 360, so it's not shining back on you, because Astera is designed for movie and theater and television, and it's designed to project lighting. So, and you can adjust the brightness down. So like cocktail and dinner, you can have that feel, that effect of having light, but not having overly bright. And then when the dance floor opens, you can go to a club mode on the app and change things around. That's what I usually do. So it's wireless DMX. They have their own in-house system. Basically, it's their own universe, and it's fun to play with because you can do so many scenes with the Pixel tubes, and you can make them do so many things because each section of the tube is like its own little LCD TV basically, and you can make it do different things and have different colors in different areas of the tube, and make it do certain things, and that's the cool stuff when you start getting into that. And again, because where Astera comes from, they do things uniquely different than a lot of the other Pixel tubes out there, because Astera, they use them in movies. Heck, there was a thing I saw from Astera that John Wick 4 had 10,000 Astera tubes in it. So it's I want to say 10,000. It was an ungodly number of Astera tubes. So it's one of the things that they have really cool technology, and they can make a unique look. You want to have like a Tron feel. You don't mind putting the money out. Astera tubes will give you that feel. Versus the both tubes and stuff like that. They look good, but it's a different way they're a little bit different in lighting.
I sometimes use mine and I'll put them on the truss and I'll angle them, make a V. Give me or basically two tubes like this on the truss, and it's just a unique look. There's times where the client doesn't want any light, doesn't want to pay for any lighting, but I'll take the tubes because I hate to be in the dark.
Yeah.
So at least it'll give me some ambience, and then I can flick it into, whatever program to go to the music or whatever. At least you got something, because ultimately the client is hiring you, right? But you have a potential 200, 300 guests that are there, and they're looking at all of this and they're going, wow, I'm amazed. I love the way this looks. This DJ not only rocks, but the way the mood that he created for this venue, especially with venue owners. I've had venue owners hire me strictly for that, put me on their vendor list. This picture that I have here was at Disneyland. So they basically said, oh my God, can you change it to this color? They brought out the staff, started taking pictures. Do you mind? I go, no, go ahead. But I was immediately on the vendor list. So you have so much potential in lighting, not only for your client, but for the guests that attend.
And that's a key thing there. Having the good lighting in a room, the venue management will notice that. They will see that. And if you talk to them, and if you're professional with them, you're nice with them, and you talk to them throughout the night, and you build that rapport with them, they will remember you. And if they have like open spot for a preferred vendor, they may ask you just because of the uplighting, because you're doing things differently than every other DJ. And this is what gives you a difference in the market too when you talk to your clients. What separates you from, again, DJ down the street? DJ down the street does ABC. I'm doing XYZ. Big difference between the two. And then Kevin says, not a fan of tube lights. Just makes me think of hanging around with a bunch of good old Jedis, good and bad Jedis that have left their lightsabers lit.
May
Yeah,
the force
can
be
do that.
with you. Yes.
And then Mikey Mike
Go on,
said,
Kevin.
Joe, since COVID, a large ex-wedding in northeastern Pennsylvania is 125 to 175 guests, but most weddings are 75 to 110 guests. Yeah, that was, I don't know, about here in Chicagoland, I can speak about here. Weddings have been getting bigger and bigger the past couple of years. I had one in 23, which is 260, and we got a couple of big weddings this year that are over 200 easily. And last year we had 4 weddings over 200 easily. But 260 was the biggest we've had in a while. Before that, I had weddings in the threes, 360, 360 is the biggest one we've done. But yeah, we've done a ton of big weddings. I've seen it starting to bounce back more and more and more here in Chicagoland. So hopefully it hits you out there in Pennsylvania. People are like, let's have a big wedding again. With that said, of course, we go through our hour very quickly.
Very quickly.
Really quickly, a show of hands here. Who here is going to talk to the next client about doing some lighting at their event when we talk to them?
I've also just raised my base pricing so people, if they don't want lighting, can still pay me what I'm worth and not have to worry about it. And I'm all for that. Less work for me.
There you go.
We have some venues here that just have like these super bright string lights out, and they're fully outdoors. And there's just like, I don't want to sell them on something that is not going to be as impactful as it could be. And I'm like, you could go with the lighting. I don't think it's going to, really make much of a difference.
But lighting trees, they have trees out there. I've seen guys light palm trees up and evergreens and
yeah, I've done that. It's just not whatever.
But it gives
doesn't pop like
impactfulness
adding
and
a
something
laser
you can
to it.
sell. It's something you can sell the customers and show them that you're different.
Look at this real quick. So this was for a prom, and they wanted their mascot. And I shot it via projector on the rocks. Can you see it?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I can see it.
So they basically wanted a little bit of green, the mascot, white, and some amber lighting. But
Very
it
neat.
makes a big difference.
It almost looks like your pixel map in there.
No, I basically took an image of their mascot and shot it on the rock formation,
Mm-hmm.
and they were just like, "Oh my God!"
That is
Blown
really
away.
That separates you from a lot of other DJs and a lot of other lighting professionals. And hopefully you learned some stuff tonight on the DJ Roundtable. And again, I thank you all for tuning in tonight. That hour goes by so quick and so fast. It's not even funny. And also, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys all in the chat. And yeah, Mike is just like Jay's weddings. He has weddings outside in California, and he does some lighting on trees, which always, again, looks beautiful when you can do that stuff. So I'm actually going to have Joe. We're going to have you take us out tonight since you're the late guy here tonight.
yeah, come on.
We're going to have Joe take us out tonight.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
I can't do
DJ
it.
Roundtable.
Yeah.
All right, fine. Chris.
thank
Yeah.
All right, Joe,
I'll do it
last
up.
chance, Joe. You want to take it? You want to do it?
you'll get me next week.
All right, fine. Chris.
Everyone,
take us
before
out,
you
please.
leave tonight, please give us that thumbs up. All right. Don't forget to like us and subscribe so we can help slay that dragon. And don't forget to share the love. We got to get some love to everyone else. Tell everyone else about all of our great shows here. The DJ Roundtable signing off for you guys. See you all next week. Same time, same day.
Peace.
And guys, don't forget the other channels out there. DJ Biz School. You got the business school there. You got Cue It Up. Business school tomorrow, Cue It Up on Thursday. And don't forget, over there, Hunter has his show on Mondays, day before us. So make sure you follow all the channels. Links are down below. Other than that, good night.
Peace.